Okay. Hello, hello. Getting everything set up here. So this is going to be a setup test. I finally got this overhead camera arm and everything else. So we're going to see how this goes. I am aware that it's hard to read some of the cards here. There's just nothing I can do about that. It's a combination of the sleeves being reflective and the fact that all of my lighting seems to be like directly overhead. And I can't seem to find a way to get it less reflective. So we're just going to have to deal with that. I've done everything I can to get as good as possible. That's okay. I'm going to be reading and narrating the cards and the step by step, everything I'm doing here anyway. So that being said, this is Marvel Champions, and I'm going to be playtesting Gambit. Gambit and Rogue came out a month or two ago at this point, and I have not had a chance to play either one of them yet. Life has just kind of gotten in the way, as it does. So I found a deck that I'm going to be playtesting from marvelcdb.com. It is an aggression deck. The title of which is the Ace of Spades, and this deck was made by Villain Theory. And if you ever use Marvel CDB to look up decks, Villain Theory is a pretty active user. There's a lot of really good decks being made by this user. So it looks like it's really not a lot of aggression cards in this deck. It's really just doing what it can to take advantage of Gambit's ability to stack damage onto each attack event. So I have not played this deck, nor have I ever played Gambit. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna be kind of figuring it out live as I go. So I've got the deck of 40 cards already made. Just need to get that shuffled. And I didn't want to like jump into anything too crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be testing this against the Sentinel encounter, specifically the Project Wide Awake from the X-Men campaign box. So it's not Mother Mold. Yeah, see what I mean? The reflections like perfectly on that sleeve there. There are these like wonderful stand-up things for the villains on Etsy that I need to get that I think would help with this because it'll take a lot of that glare off. So that might be my next investment. Okay, so for the Sentinels, the main scheme we have here, I'm going to read this. It's the Sentinel villain, Project Wide Awake, which is this encounter. Zero Tolerance, which is here. Standard set, which is here. And one modular set, which it has Sentinels as the recommended one. So there's the Sentinels. Okay. So we'll go ahead and flip that over. I don't see... Man, is this... No, this isn't just the campaign, is it? Does it say... Oh, yeah. If only I had read the rest of it. Set each captive ally aside. Man, it's so helpful when you just read the rules. Gaming, right? Set each captive ally aside. So, Wolfsbane, Cannonball, Richter, and Boom Boom. I'll set them off to the side. Reveal Operation Zero Tolerance and Mutants at the Mall side schemes. Didn't I just have... Yeah, Mutants at the Mall. And Operation Zero Tolerance. Side schemes. Right, Zero Tolerance, that's in here. Oh, right, because this gains permanent specifically for this encounter. Oh, I'm regretting this already. The Sentinels, Operation Zero Tolerance, Mutants at the Mall. Okay. And then go ahead and flip that, get that ready to go. So that starts with 1 per player. Just 1 player here. I am so not used to doing true solo. So this is going to be interesting. I'm used to doing at least 2 players. So this will be a hoot. And Operation Zero Tolerance gains permanent for this encounter. So this will never go away. So that'll just be there being annoying the whole time. And we've got this beefy encounter deck now. So we'll shuffle. All right, so just from what I could tell, it looked like the big takeaway in this deck is to chain together the X Mansion with Mutant Education to get Gambit cards back into your deck, and to use your charge counters in order to kind of chain things together and otherwise keep enemies confused so that you can maximize your threat mitigation and then kind of get your big hits off chained together. Which, I mean, kind of seems like the point of Gambit in the first place, but we'll see how this goes. Not really my typical play style, so this just might not click with me at all. But I like to at least run through every hero and like give them a chance and see how they play. There are certainly some that were not to my liking. Hulk is an example. Though I don't really know. I've never actually met a person that likes that hero. The hero deck specifically, that is. I've met plenty of people that like the Hulk character for whatever reason. Maybe I'm just a hater. Okay. Counter deck made. I gotta shuffle mine. Shuffle the cards, mon ami. Mon chéri. Never fear. Gambit is here. Not claiming to have any kind of flawless Creole accent. Not too long ago, I was watching the X-Men animated series, and I totally forgot that Wolverine calls him Gumbo, which is just amazing. Okay. Now, let's see just how badly I'm going to get completely hosed on this shuffling deal I just did. Alright. And here we go. Set the health. Remy starts out with 9. And the Sentinel with 16. Okay. this over just a little bit. All right. Oh man, that glare right on top of the. See, just that little bit of a tilt is all it takes, and you can see it just fine. I guess that's just how it's got to be till I get a better setup. All right, so hand size of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. X-Jet is not a bad opener because I can definitely get those resources going quickly. Honorary X-Men is definitely important so I can trigger the mansion. Well, actually, the mansion and the X-Jet both require the X-Men trait, so looks like we're gonna it's not gonna be playing an attack event in my first. Okay, so I'm gonna mulligan 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well. Okay. All right. Looks like this is the hand that I've got. Okay. So, step 1. I'm going to play Honorary X-Men and attach that to Remy. It's a 0 cost upgrade. Attached to a friendly character, max 1 per character. Attached character gets +1 hit point and gains the X-Men trait. The idea here is that even in Alter Ego, I'll have the X-Men trait, which allows me to trigger things like I'm going to pay 2 and 3 total to play the X-Jet. Exhaust the X-Jet, generate a wild card resource for a player whose identity has the X-Men trait. Okay. Let's see. Still can't quite pay for Professor X now. However, I can now use Mutant Education. Choose up to 2 identity. It's a 0 cost. Choose up to 2 identity-specific cards in your discard pile. Shuffle them into your deck. If X Mansion is in play, draw a card. X Mansion is not in play. But 2 identity-specific cards. There's the Guild Armor and Charged card. So we'll grab those. And get those in the deck. Start stacking up my ability to play my Gambit cards later on. Okay. So I've still got Charles in my hand that I definitely can't afford. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Remy's action, exhaust Remy LeBeau, look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, discard one of those cards, remove threat from a scheme equal to the number of boost icons on that card. So exhaust, and look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. 1, 2. Oh, that figures. Discard 1, remove threat from a scheme equal to the number of boost icons on that card. Well, I'm going to discard Caught Off Guard in order to remove 1. So then this one goes back. Nice, because that's going to help me control what... it'll help me control how much threat gets added on that scheme. Because honestly, the hardest part about playing true solo is how difficult it is to manage threat. Specifically, you can threat out really easily just from one bad boost. So, okay, clean up. Unexhaust. And do I want to hold on to Charles? Yeah, I should hold on to Charles. So redraw back to 6. So that's 2. Nice. 3. Okay. 4. Okay. 5. 6. Oh, it's half my damn allies. Great. This is going to be interesting. After Forge enters play, search your deck and discard pile for an X-Men or X-Force support. Add it to your hand. That's pretty good. Reduce the cost to play. After Forge enters play, search your deck and discard pile for an X-Men or X-Force support and add it to your hand. I think that helps. The X-Mansion, I think, is a support card. Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay. So, all right. Now the bad stuff. So, there's one threat per player at the beginning of the villain phase. And there's an acceleration for mutants at the mall, so that's 2. So we'll replace this 1 with a 3. I've just made a terrible mistake, haven't I? Because now the Sentinel... Yep, because it's 5 per player. Man, this is exactly what I was just talking about. So the Sentinel schemes, which we already know is a 0 because of the ability, which turns this into 5... After threat is placed here, if there's at least 5 per player threat here, the first player places the top card of their deck face down under Operation Zero Tolerance, then removes 5 threat from the scheme. Well, there goes one of my mutant educations. After an enemy attacks and defeats an ally, that was not... That's ally face on it. If there are X face-down cards under this scheme, the players lose the game. X is 3 more than the number of players. So if there's 4 cards under there, I lose the game. And we have 1 under there on turn 1. This is going to be fun. Okay, encounter cards. We have a Sentinel, Mark II. When revealed, if Operation Zero Tolerance is in play, Sentinel Mark II gains Surge. Well, that's not great. Sentinel Mark VI. What a great start. I love this game. Quick Strike. So he schemes for 2. All right, my turn. This sucks. That's a lot of health. All right. I really want to use Forge to get my support stuff in play, but I feel like I need to clear that threat off like immediately. Otherwise, like just the setup is going to be too much. So why don't we do this? I'm going to burn 1 natural agility. Oh man, I'm going to lose my let's do this. I'm going to use my action, exhaust Remy, look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, discard one of those, and remove threat. So let's see what we got here this time. Oh, that's a little bit better this time. So we're going to discard Warn the Others for 2. I got a 1 on this one, on that boost icon. So 2, and remove 2 threat from a scheme. And then I'm going to Flip up to Gambit. All right. Now I'm going to pay 1 plus molecular acceleration, which is 2 resources. And when you spend this card, place 1 charge counter on Gambit. So we're going to do that. In order to play, Professor X. After Professor X enters play, choose 1. Confuse the villain, stun a minion, or ready an X-Men character. Oh, there are a lot of minions in play at the moment. And I did just flip up, so let's try to let's put a stun on this Mark 6 for now. Okay. And then Charles is going to thwart for 3 to deal with this thing, the mutants at the mall. When defeated, first player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Sentinel minion and reveals it. Flip this card and put Jubilee into play, discarding any other versions of Jubilee from play. So now I get another Sentinel. Oh, great. Man, they all kind of suck. Is there something better? No, I'll just put another Mark II into play. Since it gets put into play, it's not revealed. At least I don't have to trigger that darned effect. Okay. Now. I will exhaust Jubilee and spend an energy resource. I'm going to generate the X-Jet wildcard resource to satisfy that condition. I'm going to put her like right here. In order to deal 2 damage to an enemy. So we're going to knock that Sentinel right back out. And then I'm going to use Gambit's ability to place a charge counter on him. Hacha. Place 1 charge counter here. So you can place 1 charge counter per round using that action, but there's no limit for the number of charge counters you can have? Wow. Alright. So do I want to play Angel, or do I want to use Charged Card? Well, I don't have 3 counters, so I can't get Overkill. I should probably hang on to Forge so I can guarantee what card I'm going to get. Well, I could just get that card in my hand now and play it next turn. I really can't let all this damage sit in front of me, though, so I guess we're just going to have to do that. Alright, so I'm gonna pay 2. Play Angel. Reduce the cost to play Angel by 1 if your identity has a mutant or X-Men trait, so that makes him a 2 costs instead of a 3 costs, so I paid 2. Play Angel, and then I'm going to attack for 2 to get rid of this Sentinel. Okay. And that's that turn. So unexhaust, An exhaust thing. Okay. Draw my cards. So hand size is now 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, dang. Okay. Remove up to 3 charge. Okay, you can only remove up to 3 charge counters per attack event. Okay, so I can use this to do. If I remove 2, it'll be +1 damage for each counter removed. So the deal 0, deal 0, deal 0 will be deal 2, deal 2, deal 2. That's enough to take care of that Mark 6. Okay, cool. I see how this is working. I like that. All right, so bad stuff. One token here, and the Sentinel will attack me now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and eat that one. So we've got, let's see. Oh, you know what I didn't do at all? When revealed, the first player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Abduction Protocol Side Scheme and reveals it. Oh my lord, I was supposed to have that out. It has the crisis icon. Which means I would have had to have dealt with that first. Man, I swear, like, sometimes if you just read the cards. But what fun would that be? Let's see. The player who defeated this scheme takes 1 random set-aside captive ally. Okay, well, we're just going to deal with it now, I guess. Alright, so he's attacking for 2. 4 total. So it puts me at 6. And this Sentinel is stunned. So he attacks me, but he does not. Stun goes away. Encounter card. Sentinel Mark 4. Guard and patrol. While this minion is engaged with you, you cannot thwart the main scheme. Well, son, do I have some news for you. Okay. My turn. Oh, and Charles goes away at the end of the round. Goodbye, Charles. Okay. In what order would I like to do these things? First thing I'll do is I'll use Gambit's action to add a charge counter. Oh, I forgot to add the threat on abduction protocols. I don't have any thwarting in my hand, so I'm going to thwart with Angel for 1. And then thwart with Gambit for 1. So that's 2, which takes care of abduction protocols. Nope, it does not, because that is 2 and hinder 2. So there's still 2 on it. Man, that sucks. All right, let's see. let's do pay 2. Yeah, pay 2, 3. And play Royal Flush. So place a charge counter on Gambit. And when you play an attack event, remove up to 3 charge counters from here. That event deals +1 damage for each counter removed. Okay, so I'm going to remove 3. This is actually going to work out even nicer. So deal 0 damage to an enemy, deal 0 damage to an enemy, deal 0 damage to an enemy. So I'm going to deal the first 2 attacks, each one doing 3 because of the charge counters, to the Sentinel Mark 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, so he is gone. And then the third attack does 3 more to the Sentinel Mark 4. I will then play Aggressive Energy. When you spend this card to play an attack event, that event deals 1 additional damage. To play 1 by 1, which is deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So deal 3 damage to the Mark 4, which does defeat him. And then deal 3 damage to the Sentinel as that secondary effect. Nice. Okay. And then I will use the X-Jet for the wildcard resource for Jubilee to exhaust her and deal 2 damage to an enemy. That puts the Sentinel at 11. Cool. All right, end of turn. So, unexhaust all cards. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. So we get 1 counter on Knight of the Sentinels. And then the Sentinel attacks. I am going to defend against this one. So he's coming in with 2, 3, 4. Thank God Shadow of the Past got burnt as a boost card. So 4, Gambit's defense is 3. So I take 1 damage. Encounter card. The Villain Schemes. That's not great. So let's see. 2, 3, 4. Resets this one. What am I losing this time? Another molecular acceleration. All right. My turn. I'm going to pay 1 and the X-Jet to get Utopia in play. I'm running out of space here. If each of your allies has the X-Men trait, increase your ally limit by 1. And as a response, after an X-Men ally enters play, exhaust Utopia and ready an X-Men character. Okay. I'm going to use my action to place another charge counter on Gambit. Yeah, this will be immensely helpful to buy me another turn, I think. So Rogue, reduce the cost to play Rogue by 1 for each charge counter on your identity. I currently have 2. So that makes her cost 2. So I'm going to pay 2 and play Rogue. And she has toughness, so she comes in with tough. Too bad I'm not going to burn that. I can't thwart with her this turn because I'm not going to burn tough for that. But after an X-Men ally enters play, exhaust Utopia and ready an X-Men character. So I'm going to exhaust Utopia and ready Gambit. I will then thwart with Angel, which gives him that 3rd consequential damage. He is discarded. And thwart with Gambit. That's a total of 2 to get rid of abduction protocols. So that goes into the victory display. And then a random set-aside ally gets put into play under my control. Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane's attacks gain piercing. Okay. I no longer have the resource to burn for Jubilee, so she's going to sit. But I will attack with Wolfsbane for 2. And that's my turn. I'll exhaust everything. And draw 5. 2. There's X Mansion. It is in fact a support. 3, 4, 5. That's not a bad turn. Hand. Whatever. X gene is for an identity specific event. Okay. All right. One thing at a time. So we're going to start with the 1 on the scheme. And then the Sentinel attacks, I'm going to defend with Rogue. So 2, 3, 4. Toughness is pinged off. And then encounter card. Gauntlet Beam, attach to the villain. The villain's attacks gain piercing and range. Thank God that wasn't on there just a moment ago. Spend 3 physical resources to discard this card. I hate attachments so much. They are so annoying. But that is what I have been dealt. So now I just have to deal with it because 3 physical resources is a lot. Okay. You know, the thing is I can actually get rid of that right now. Do I play it safe and lose my turn effectively? Or do I power through it? I will add my charge counter. Let's do that first. I'm going to pay 2 and probably regret my actions to play X Mansion. Man, I'm running out of room here. Let's see. Utopia is after an ally enters play. Well, that's not happening this turn. Much as I'd love to see Ms. Braddock come into play. That's just not happening. Though I am gonna need these events to start coming out here soon, so I'm gonna burn Betsy to play the X gene. I'm going to exhaust the X Mansion to heal 1 from Gambit. Or heal 1 2 Gambit, I guess. Heal 1 4 Gambit, man. I don't know. Something. I'm going to attack for 2 with Wolfsbane. 7. I'm gonna regret this. No time like the present, right? I'll use the X-Jet to pay for 1 by 1. Oh, shoot. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Well, I guess I might as well burn all 3 counters because I was planning on flipping anyway. So, right? Burn 3. Yeah, remove up to 3. So, 2 damage and add +1 damage for each counter removed. So that does 5. Which brings him to 2. And then I'm going to... Oh, man, I could swing for 2 and push him. And then flip. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? Well, if I'm going to flip, I need to make sure that threat's gone. So I'm going to try to control that. So I'm going to flip, and then I'm going to exhaust. Look at the top 2. Oh, that's really not great. Oh, boy. So do I give him 8 hit points? Or do I accept that I just messed up? Oh, man. I really... Pacing, man, I tell you. Because that's a boost ability, so it's going to get attached. Oh, this sucks. Alright, well. I've made my bed. Here we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Sunfire can get rid of the attachment. Yeah. Okay. Creole Charmer would be nice. Well, this is going to be some turn, huh? All right. Again, one thing at a time. So 1 goes on Knight of the Sentinels. And then the Sentinel schemes for 2, 3, 4. Goodbye, charged card. And that is 3 cards underneath here. 1 more, and it is game over. Encounter card. Sentinel Mark 5. When revealed, if targeted for elimination is attached to your identity, Sentinel Mark 5 attacks you. Even in alter ego form. Otherwise, search the encounter deck and discard pile for targeted for elimination and reveal it. That stinks. Is there one in here? There sure is. Targeted for elimination. Attach to your identity. When you are engaged with a Sentinel minion, you cannot change from hero form to alter ego. Action. Exhaust your identity and discard this card. So while you're engaged with a Sentinel minion. So can I run out the clock on this one? We'll find out. That sucks. Okay, my turn. Oh boy. I've opened this can of worms. Now I've got a lie in it. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay 2 to play... Nope. Hold up. Calm down, sir. I'm going to exhaust the X-Jet to generate this resource for Jubilee and deal 2 damage to the Mark V. Is there anything on this board that does 3 damage? Nope. That stinks. I mean, something's gonna be wasted. Oh, you know what? The Sentinel has toughness too, and I forgot about that. Man. Whatever. I totally botched this one. Okay. I swear I've played this game. So I'm going to attack with Rogue for 2. And attack with Wolfsbane for 2. It's a total of 4, so it's 1 overkill. Wolfbane, welcome to the discard pile for now. Sentinel Mark V goes away. It's one thing dealt with. What is it? Utopia is ready, an X-Men character, and yeah. So I'm going to exhaust the X-Mansion to heal 1. I'm going to recover for 3. Puts me back at full health. I'm going to flip. I'm going to add a charge counter. Now I'm going to pay 2 and play Sunfire, which allows me to exhaust Utopia to ready an X-Men character. Already Gambit. And after you play Sunfire from your hand, spend an energy resource, choose an attachment with the text hero action or hero response, and discard it. I will absolutely do that. Goodbye, Gauntlet Beam. I never loved you. Now then. I will exhaust the X gene to play Gambit Staff. Man, I really need to figure out a way to get more space here. When an enemy attacks, exhaust Gambit Staff. So it doesn't have to be he attacks you. It can be an enemy attacking anything. When an enemy attacks, exhaust Gambit Staff, deal 1 damage to that enemy. That's pretty gnarly. Alright, cool. I'm definitely going to hold on to Royal Flush for next turn, though. And then I'm going to attack with Mr. Yoshida for 2. Pushing our racist robot to the next stage. He has Steady and Toughness. Steady, I think, means he needs 2 cards in order to be stunned and confused. And he has 18 health. That's butts. I will attack with Gambit for 2 to ping that tough right off, because homie don't play that. We're not dealing with that. And that's the end of my turn. When revealed, the first player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Abduction Protocol Side Scheme and reveals it. I should probably actually follow the rules this time. Abduction protocols. So that's 4. It's 2 with hinder 2, so 4 total. Now let's try to organize this mess. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you kidding me? Life happens all at once. Sure, you pushed him and got abduction protocols ready to go. And now you're going to get an extra encounter card for your reshuffle. Good luck. Alright, so. Oh, right. I still need my one more card. So 5 total. Well, this is going to be something. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yes. Okay. Alright. So. You get 1 on Night of the Sentinels. And then the Sentinel attacks. I will defend. So 3. You are stunned. If you're already stunned, take 2 damage. That is not great. But I didn't take any damage, so that's awesome. Because 3 attack, 3 defense, great. Oh, but when an enemy attacks, exhaust Gambit staff, deal 1 damage to that enemy. We'll take that one. Okay, the bad cards. When revealed, discard each status card from the villain. Give the villain a tough status card and heal 5 damage from it. That is one heck of an encounter card. Wow. Okay, and then Sentinel Mark III. Toughness. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for energy barrier attachment and attach it to this minion. These things are not great. This is really annoying. Holy crap! Attach the Sentinel minion without energy barrier. Forced response after attached minion attacks. Give it a tough status card. And it has +2 attack now. Oh my god. Well. What to do? This is not wonderful. How about I hold these for my next turn. Because I need to get rid of that stun. Otherwise, I can't do anything. So I'm going to use the X gene and the X jet. Yes. Ah, man, that sucks. To play charged card, which is an attack event. So I'm stunned out of it, but at least that's gone. I'm going to use Gambit's ability, or his action, to add a counter. Ooh, actually, let's do this now. I'll pay 3 and play Royal Flush. Place a charge counter on Gambit. Deal 0 damage to an enemy, deal 0 damage to an enemy, deal 0 damage to an enemy. So the first one will be burned by the tough. The second... Oh, I'm going to remove all 3 counters. First one is pinged by tough. Second one does 3, which kills the sentinel. And then the other one does 3 against the big sentinel. And then I will... Woof. I will thwart. That is 2, 3, 4. To get rid of abduction protocols. That one goes in the victory display. And I get... Whoopsh, Cannonball. Cannonball takes -1 consequential damage after he attacks and defeats a minion. Gnarly. And an X-Men just came into play, so I can ready an X-Men character. We'll just ready Gambit. All the attack kind of looks the same here. And I'll attack for 2 with him. And which exhausts Utopia. And then I still have the X-Mansion, which I can heal 1. I will exhaust and heal 1 from Rogue. And then I will attack for 2 with Cannonball. And then that's the end of my turn. I know all this is a complete mess. Unexhaust all of this. As long as nothing kills an ally, I should be able to probably clear it this turn. Oh, we'll see what happens. All right, so draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 1 goes on Knight of the Sentinels. And then I'm attacked. I will defend. So that's 3 on 3. Oh God, what now? Boost. Exhaust your identity. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm already exhausted, right? Because don't you declare that you're defending before you flip the boost card? I'm pretty sure that's how that works, so that wouldn't preemptively exhaust me. Let me double check just to make sure that that's how that... Give the villain a face-down card from the encounter deck. This is the villain's boost card. The attacked player chooses if they want to defend against the attack. If the attacked player does not defend any other... Okay, so step 1 is give them the boost card. Step 2 is the attacked player chooses if they want to defend. Step 3 is turn the boost card face up. So the act of defending has already been made. That decision was already made. So that becomes nullified. Okay. So then it's just that +1. I'm going to use my hero interrupt for a 0 cost. When you defend against an attack, place a charge counter on Gambit. Wacha! For each charge counter on Gambit, you get +1 defense for that attack. So that brings me up to 4 defense, so I take no damage. And I got a charge counter. Sweet! Now the encounter card. Abduction Protocol. I never see the end of these. All right, my turn. I'm going to use Gambit's action, put a charge counter on, because that's pretty... Oh, I forgot to activate Gambit's staff when I was attacked, which would deal 1 damage to him. I'm going to use the X gene. +1, 2... 3? No. 2 more? Yeah, 2 more. To play Colossus. Colossus cost is reduced by 1 if your identity has a mutant or X-Men trait, so it makes him a 3 cost. So the 2 plus the X gene. Jubilee does not count toward my ally limit, and I have Utopia in play. Okay, so I can have 4 allies. Perfect. So I put Colossus in play, and I can exhaust Utopia to ready Gambit. I'm going to exhaust the X Mansion to heal 1 from Rogue. So I've still got the X Jet unexhausted. Yes, this is a victory condition here, is what this is. Because I can attack for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is all 10. Boom! Take that, you racist robots. Alright. So, despite how many times I messed up not reading the cards in front of me and the setups, obviously I would have made different decisions based on that. But, ultimately, I probably would have arrived at the same result. I was never in any real danger there, except for the fact that I was 1 card away under Operation Zero Tolerance. But everything else went pretty well. This deck... I don't think I really got to see this deck shine, specifically because of the way this encounter works. Because of how much I had to stay on top of the threat removal. I mean, it's also, just kind of the fact that true solo, like, you really have to stay on top of all of the threat stuff going on here. So as a result of that, all the side schemes coming into play and having to manage the Sentinels, I didn't really get to put my upgrades into play that would have made this deck really shine. I'd be interested to try it in 2-player. Or like 2-handed solo, so, it's still a 2-player game for all intents and purposes. I'd be interested to see how that works. or to simply just try it against something that's not so side scheme heavy, like perhaps an older encounter and see how that goes. But yeah, fun so far, but I'll be interested to see how it like really shines against something else. So with that, I'm going to bring this one to a close, and I'm going to look forward to giving this another go against a different encounter. So hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.